sense the movement of your breath, you can bring your hands to your lower belly and just check in as you breathe in and as you breathe out. You can check in with your breath at any point in the day. We often hold our breath when something is difficult. The length of your inhalation, the length of your exhalation. So as you sit there, where do you feel supported? Where does your body feel supported? Are you holding yourself up, or are you being supported by your chair? How are your legs arranged? Where are your feet touching the floor? Are your elbows and your arms comfortable? Your hands? So just take a moment to check in with the sensation of your hands, the spaces between your fingers, the sensation of your feet. And what about your eyes? Your left eye compared to your right eye. Sensation in your jaw. Is your jaw soft? All right, so please come forward to the edge of your chair. So if it's comfortable enough for you to not be leaning against the back of the chair, if not, that's fine. You can stay where you are. And notice, again, how you're being supported by the chair. Your sitting bones, your hips, your pelvis. How are your feet touching the ground? And rest your arms on your thighs. Your elbows are comfortable. And we're going to do a bit of a test. So the first thing to do is just to turn your head a little bit to the right and back to neutral. So not looking at the screen, but just turning and looking to the right and then back to neutral as far as is comfortable. And just note what you see. Where do you see? Maybe there's a certain book you see, or a piece of furniture, or a door, or a window, and come back. And come back to the middle, and not to go to your maximum, not stretching. Less is definitely more with the strategy of these lessons. And then go ahead and turn to the left. Turn your head to the left and back to neutral. And see, how is it turning your head to the left? Again, not looking for an easy, comfortable movement. And which side was easier? Was one side a little more free, a little smoother? No. So come back to the middle. And now you're going to bring your palms to your cheeks. You're going to have your elbows and your arms connected to your chest there. And you're going to go to your easy side. So your head, your neck, your ribs, your chest, everything's going to move as one. And you're going to turn a little bit to the easy side and then back to the middle. So everything as a unit. And of course, the movement will probably be a little smaller than when you just turned your head. Just to the easy side and back to the middle. Breathing. Okay. Yeah, everything together. Then pause for a moment. And then turn to the other side. Turning to the other side. A little bit. It's a small movement, maybe only half an inch or less. But your head and your neck, everything together, as opposed to them moving separately. And rest your hands for a moment. And bring your hands again to this position where everything is going to move together. And you're going to slowly, in a very tiny movement, very tiny, you're going to just turn a little bit to the right and through the middle and to the left. The chest turns, the ribs turn with the head. And back to neutral. A little bit. Side to side. And then rest. You can go ahead and rest, lean against the back of your chair. Feel your breath. Now come to the edge of your chair once again. Your feet up, your arms comfortable. And now you're going to fix your head. Your head is going to stay fixed, but your eyes are going to move. So your eyes are going to move a little bit to the right, kind of scanning the horizon, and back to the middle. So your head stays still, but your eyes are moving to the right, scanning the horizon, slowly, just a little bit, and back to neutral. Breathing as you go. And pause. And then go ahead and, with your head staying still once again, focusing maybe on a spot ahead of you to keep your head still. Let your eyes then move to the left and back to the middle. With the head stays still, the eyes moving to the left and then back to the middle. Now pause for a moment, and again, keeping your head still, just move your eyes to the right and through the middle and to the left. And just slowly scanning the horizon, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a far distance. How often do we move our eyes separately from our head? Breathing as you go. And then stop the movement. Just pause. You can lean against the back of the chair if you like. Feel your breath. And then come forward again. And now this time, you're going to find a spot straight ahead to fix your eyes upon. So straight ahead. And now your eyes will stay still, but your head will move. So your eyes will look to the left and back to the middle, and to the left and back to the middle, a little bit. And then your eyes will look to the right and back to the middle. Do you feel a difference? Is it easier to look in one direction than the other? You have some different sensation of movement of the eyes in one direction versus the other. You can slow the movement down with your eyes. Smaller movements. Where can you reduce your effort? Your shoulders, your chest, your throat, your jaw. All right, leave that and pause. And now go ahead once again. Just simply kind of that test movement we did in the beginning. Just turn to the side, and look, and turn to the other side, and see, is something different? Are you able to turn? Is there a different quality about the turning, or maybe you turn a little farther? Some ease that wasn't there in the beginning. Do your shoulders join in, your chest? There's more of you involved. And then go ahead and rest. You can sit back, just be comfortable however you are in your chair. Close your eyes now. So we're going to work now with the imagination a bit and movement of the eyes. So you're going to imagine, kind of in your mind's eye, imagine a ball is balanced on the bridge of your nose. And this ball slowly rolls down the middle of your nose, the center of your face, length of the front of yourself, down to your left hip, down the left leg, down over the knee, down to the ankle, to the feet, and the ball rolls to rest on your left side, somewhere on the ground. And now, you're going to let the ball actually begin to bounce up and down on the floor next to you. But you're in your imagination and your eyes closed, you're watching the ball bouncing up and down and up and down. And you decided, how high does the ball bounce? What color is the ball? Maybe the ball can bounce really, really high. It can go through the ceiling even, and so high that you keep watching it, and it comes down. Maybe it bounces a smaller amount, begins to bounce in front of you a bit. And to the side again. And as you do this, check in with your breath. Again, where can you do less throughout yourself? Maybe your jaw. Are you clenching your fingers or your toes? Holding your breath. And the ball bounces maybe a bit behind you. So how is it you can organize yourself to watch the ball bouncing you? This is in your imagination. Behind you a bit. Come around the side. So the ball begins to bounce next to you on the right. How is it to watch the ball, different heights? It's a happy, playful ball, very buoyant. And watching the ball come a little bit in front of you. Feel the sensations in your eyes. And your eyes are moving as you do this. And bring the ball to bounce maybe smaller and smaller and smaller, kind of in front of you, smaller till it's resting on the ground again. And the ball comes back to your toes, and begins to move up your ankle, to your knee, to your right hip, up the back of yourself, the length of your spine over your head again, to rest on the bridge of your nose. And just go ahead and rest. So we take these rests throughout the lessons to rest your attention and to give yourself a chance to see if anything is different about how you're feeling after whatever movements or explorations we've done. Feel your breath. Now please come forward again to the edge of your chair. So now you're going to simply make a movement of nodding your head a bit up and a bit down, a very small amount, as if you're nodding your head to say yes. So it's a familiar movement of nodding your head up and down. Make it very small, maybe less than a half inch. What do you notice in your chest, your upper back, your shoulders? Are other parts of you also involved in this small movement, or do you feel it mostly in your head, maybe in your neck? And now pause for a moment. Begin to add the eyes to the nodding movement. So as you nod your head downward, your eyes look downward. And as you nod your head upward, you look a bit upward. So you're adding the eyes. As you're nodding your head, your eyes are looking in the same direction you're nodding. And how does this change the movement? Do you feel like that makes the movement a little different for you? Perhaps you can sense the movement a little farther down your spine, your mid-back, your low back, maybe your feet change contact with the ground. And how are you breathing as you do that? So doing the movement very slowly, very gently, less is more. When you do smaller, slower movements, reducing your muscular effort as you go, you can feel more. So as you nod your head downward, your eyes are moving downward. How are you breathing? Are you breathing out as your head comes down? And are you breathing in as your head comes up? Or maybe your first spontaneous way of moving was the opposite of that. Okay, pause for a moment. Now bring your hands. Bring one hand to your upper chest and one hand to your lower belly. We're going to add the movement of the pelvis. We're going to initiate the movement from the pelvis and from the other end of your spine. And rock your pelvis a little bit backward and then come back to neutral as far as is comfortable, maybe a little beyond. So rolling on the sitting bones backward and then forward. And do you feel your hands coming closer together? Is your spine softening as you rock your pelvis backward, as you get very round, kind of concave in the front, and then as you come back, the hands move away from each other. Feel your breath as you do that. And then pause. Rest your hands now, somewhere comfortable on your legs, on your upper legs there. And now begin to slowly open and close the fingers of your right hand. Very tiny movement. So just, if you were just beginning to take a hold of something, your wrist is soft, you may move a bit, to soften the hands, soften the fingers as you open a bit and then curl the fingers together and open. Again, are there other parts of you that you can reduce effort, like your jaw or your breath? Are you holding your chest or your throat tight? Do less, smaller. You're looking for a pleasant sensation. Think of your hand like a jellyfish, soft, a pulsating movement, wave, kind of find your rhythm. Now pause. Now do the same. Do the same with your foot. So kind of curling your foot and then curling your toes and splaying your toes out a bit. Extending the toes, your ankle is soft. Do your hand and your foot together now. And as you do that, do other parts of you want to join in? Do you feel the length of your spine beginning to soften? Are you rocking back on your pelvis? Is your head nodding up and down with this yes movement? Hand, breath, softly opening and closing. Hand, foot. And then pause for a moment. Just feel your breath. And then the other hand. The left hand, the left foot open, close. Can you allow all of you, your whole self, softening? And you'll feel it. You'll feel when the pelvis wants to rock, when the head wants to nod, the opening and the closing of your hand, foot, soft wrist. Can you say yes with your whole self? Is it different on the left side? Maybe not your dominant hand. Okay, and pause for a moment. And now coming to the edge of the chair if you're not already there. Resting your arms on your upper legs again. Just simply check in with that test movement that we did earlier, turning a bit to one side and coming back and turning to the other side. How is it now after doing some of these other movements? Is there a different quality of the movement? Is more of you involved in the movement? Did you include your eyes as you turned? So go ahead and really lead the movement with your eyes. So your eyes are your first idea. You want to turn and look. How does that affect the movement? Other side. And now come back to neutral. Now leave the eyes out. So the eyes don't go with the movement. And how does that affect the movement? And go ahead and add the eyes back in. Turning to look, all of you soft. And then rest for a moment. Sit comfortably. How is the quality of your sitting now? The tone of your musculature. Where do you feel supported for your body? What parts of the chair do you touch? Do you have more of a sense of your skeleton, your bones supporting you? And bring your hands to sense your belly once again. Your belly expanding, volume as you breathe in and out. Exhaling, feeling the belly fall away. Sensation of your feet touching the ground. And just sort of take away for sitting other times of the day. If you're sitting on Zoom, for example, check in with your breath. Your eyes, maybe look away into the far distance, do something different. Change it up a little bit. Soften your hands, soften your feet. Feel where you're being supported by the chair, even if you're standing or even lying down in your bed. Feel where you're getting support. And that should bring us to an end. And thank you very much. And later when you do get up, look around and see how your eyes feel. Sense yourself before you jump into activity. Checking with your breath. And thank you very much.